Alright, hello and welcome again everybody. This is Ace and it is 35 degrees in my room and it's goddamn awful, and I'm hoping that winter comes sooner because this is terrible. What did we do in the last video? We did Wailing Caverns and we experienced some problems. I fixed two of them. One of them we'll just have to see for ourselves, namely I couldn't figure out, or I couldn't reproduce, why the healer druid was trying to enter bear form. Well, I can't even say that he was trying to do that. It seemed more like he was trying to cast it in some strange way. I couldn't reproduce it. I can't really tell what the problem is. So what we'll have to do is we'll need to hire more druids and pay attention if it happens again. So there's that about that. There was another issue where, for example, if you were to fear one of these enemies, and we tested out CC marks and CCs in the last dungeon, and what happened is that the tank was constantly trying to go after some feared target, and I thought it was not the wisest thing to do, for the simple reason that, well, you see the target is moving all the time, so you have the tank moving all the time as well. Not particularly ideal, I would say. So I kind of had to change the code, the code in the core a little bit, to consider fears as also breakable crowd control. I have done the exact same thing on the vanilla server for the exact reason. But if there are unintended consequences for this, it's it's not so easy to tell. But what I expect them to do now is, if a feared target, if there exists a feared target, kind of just let it go, right? I just consider this as, you know, don't hit it because it has breakable crowd control. So while it continues to be feared, don't touch it. And in reality, the fear does break if you hit it. It's just that it doesn't break maybe as easily as a polymorph would. Like a polymorph, if you hit it whatsoever, then you know what, it just hit me right now, because you remember in the previous dungeon we saw the tank was attacking something, and the caster feared, like the mage polymorphed the target and it broke as soon as the cast ended. Maybe I'm not gonna note this down because it's kind of rare to happen, but I think what could happen on my end is I could tell the mages something like, don't go over all the other, well, it won't be just for the mages, it'll be for all the guys who do breakable crowd controls, but I could tell them, go through all the companions attacking that target and tell them to stop attacking. But I don't know if I would have to be very insistent about it, because they could just pick up the target again, though technically they shouldn't. Maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe. Well, it depends, because sometimes they pull him. No, but here's the whole deal. This is why it's puzzling me, because this shouldn't even happen to begin with. I should not be having this issue, because I told them, don't crowd control if someone is melee attacking the target, right? Because, hold on. Okay, here, yes. Cast crowd control. Hold on, I may not actually have that. I'm confused, hold on. I am confused. There may not be a check. Maybe I forgot to put the check to not crowd control if the target has attackers. Like, if what you're trying to crowd control is being melee attacked, you should not be crowd controlled. So I think either it's missing or I just don't see it, but I for sure have that on vanilla. That is not up for any kind of debate or interpretation. They should not be touching. Well, if he's got dots or I can't see it at first glance. It's not obvious. It's not something that's obvious. But it's definitely not correct. Okay. Hold on. Maybe I was looking in the wrong place. Give me a second. No, I do have a check. I do have a check for this, but it also comes with a caveat. I'll have to test more. I'm going to note down because it's not immediately obvious. Obviously I do have a check, but that happened yesterday. Like the tank was attacking some mob. The mage casted polymorph onto the mob, and you know it takes them a second. Like obviously they know if something is crowd control, they're gonna consider that an invalid target for attacking, but it takes them a second. It's not like immediate, right? So it happened that the mage polymorphed the target, but the tank was attacking it. So by the time he figured out that he should stop attacking, he auto attacked the target. So I'm gonna note down, check the to see if CC casters respect the target as being auto attacked. Yeah, so we're debugging this live, everybody, because yeah, when else am I gonna do it? If I don't do it now, or if I don't look into it when the problem occurs, I may forget about it. So I'm gonna look into that. Nonetheless, for now, I have marked this feared target as being breakable crowd control. They should not be attacking it or chasing or anything like that anymore. And that is that. Another thing that I have done is that I haven't implemented yet reviving the companions. Well, yesterday and today I have. And what they're supposed to do is when you, let's say one of them would die and you change. What the fuck did that just do? Hold on. This is not correct. This is not correct. Very muchos wrong. Wrong. How? How it broke from yesterday? Come on, man. Alright, so what happened here is that the warlock coincidentally soulstone the warrior, and upon dying, the warrior was supposed to revive himself, use the soulstone to revive himself. And I can see he didn't actually do it. He tried to, but the effect didn't take place. El confused. Okay, now it worked. I don't know. Let's do that again, because there may be some bug. I mean, obviously he should have just... No companions were harmed in the making of this video. Or were they? I guess they were. Maybe they tried to use it too fast? No. I mean... I don't think so. Ooh. I killed him before the poopy took place. Well, okay. Too overzealous. Okay, boom. So this is one of the things that I did, is the same as it works on vanilla. If you soulstone one of these guys, he's supposed to use it. Again, if you disagree with the soulstone placement, you can ask the warlock to do something different. If you deny add soulstone, and let's get him casting it again on the warrior, and now he shouldn't be using it anymore, right? So if he dies, he's not gonna use it. However, and you cannot see the effect, right? Like normally, if you'd be dead in this situation, you'd have that window popping up that asks you either to release the spirit or to use the soul stone. So you cannot see him. Obviously, it's not going to be a buff because he won't be on you either. So you kind of have to keep track of it, I suppose. Deny, remove all. So now that he's able to, now that we remove the restriction, he used the soul stone. And it works in the same way for the shamans. The shamans, they have reincarnation. If you hold on a second, because I just got another problem. Don't apply soul stone on shamans with cooldown off for reincarnation. It may not already be a thing. I don't know. Let me check real quick. It may not be a thing and I'm overreacting. I may have already considered this when I did the poopy. Let's see. Cast soulstone. Or I guess we're gonna test this because it's not immediately apparent. Again, it's a lot of code to go through. So we're gonna kill this guy, and he's used his reincarnation thing. So let's do another thing. Maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, never mind. So let's get the shaman in here and get the warlock in here, and let's see if he's applying. Ah, he has applied the thing. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna put this as a thing to fix. Obviously, don't apply soul stone on shamans with cooldown off of reincarnation, for the simple reason that you cannot have both. And if he dies in this situation, they both apply and they just do the same thing. So one of them is wasted. So, and now I may be concerned that it may be broken on vanilla as well if I did it like I did it there. So obviously, if it dies, he's just gonna use it. It's not gonna save his soul stone or anything like that. So even if you do it again, oh shit! Never mind. Never mind. Apparently, they can use both. I'm not sure if this is a new thing or maybe it's just in my brain that I thought it wouldn't work. But there you go, everybody. He used it both. So let's just do it one more time to make sure that it is indeed the case. So if I kill him once, he revived. If I kill him twice, he revived. Okay then. I don't know. I guess it works, so it's fine like that. What else? Cool. So we looked into this. Oh, I said that they also, like for example, if you go into, I don't know, Deadmines, right? And what they didn't used to do is if they would be dead here and you'd go out, now they should revive and teleport to your location. So that's still a thing. I brought it over from vanilla, works the same way. Nothing more to say about that one. So that is the situation there. Oh, and by the way, to deny them from, let's go back, from deny them from using the Pupisen here, reincarnation, you can either deny reincarnation. Hold on, let's kill this guy quickly so he doesn't get the soul stone. Don't revive this guy. Oh, come on, man. Let's kill this guy. No, hold on. What do I need to do? I need to deny add soul stone. Let's move him so he doesn't revive this guy. Kill this guy. What? Okay, that was unexpected. Let me think. Let's kick out this guy because I just want to see if I can deny reincarnation. Do I have to say specifically reincarnation? Deny add reincarnation. Die. Okay, apparently you have to specify reincarnation or soulstone. But you see, you added reincarnation, you added soulstone. Oh, I misspelled it, that's why it didn't work. Great. Deny remove all, deny add soulstone, and let's reset his cooldown and kill him again. Okay, so if you say either deny add reincarnation or soulstone, both of them have the same effect, right? As I thought they should. So either way, pick and choose whichever one you want, and again, deny remove all. When you change your mind, you can do that and they'll use it. So you can potentially use this to control if for some reason you have multiple warlocks in your raid and you ask them to manually do it, apply soulstone on multiple targets. I think they normally do, like on the tanks, on the healers, on the player tanks, player healers. So you can kind of figure that part out on your own. Again, it like once this is consumed, it's not like you can hold it on forever. So if they go dead and they don't actually use it to revive themselves, they still lose the effect. So it's not like you can deny add soulstone, add him a soulstone here, and by not using, let's have this guy apply the soulstone and then we revive him. So we kill him and then we revive him and he's not gonna have it anymore. So I don't know, like you have to figure out how is this going to benefit you, but it's there just so you know that it exists. So I guess I put on the list, I'm gonna check that healer bear form thing. We're gonna check it together today, and I'm going to also check that CC poopy thing from yeah, don't auto attack or don't CC if someone's auto attacking the target. So don't CC if someone is auto attacking the target. Okay, cool. Let's do a Deadmines. We're gonna do it at level, I think 18, just to test out. Oh, they're gonna attack me now. Let's go inside, because I was low level in that zone. What should we test? I think we did Shaman tank, and we've already seen how that one works. Let's do a Paladin tank, maybe. We're gonna do a Paladin tank. We're gonna use a Druid healer once more, just so I can see if I get to reproduce the bear thingy poopy scent that happened. What to do for DPS? I suppose, what DPS didn't we test out? Let's go for which one that dealt more damage? I think it kind of goes back and forth, but ultimately I think they were pretty equal, the mage and the warlock, in our previous tests. So let's just take a mage because it's easier on the eyes and in the sense of it's easier to understand what they're doing. And let's go with let's go to a shaman range DPS because we haven't tested that yet. And let's see how they're measuring up to the mages, because that's a pretty important question. I would expect the mage to still do better damage, if for no other reason, but because the shaman can off-heal and do all sorts of group buffs and all the poopies and poopy sense. So there's that. Let's mark, I suppose. Let's do the things that we're supposed to be doing. Let's set debug on. Set debug on. Okay, we're going and we're doing things again. We did this at level 20 the first time, and it does make a difference. Like you feel the increase in difficulty when you do it at the lower level. So that's why I want to do it. I just want to see how that's going to play out. Apparently our tank here has some kind of druid horde shield, right? Kind of reminds, oh, shit is happening already. So we can see the mage has flame struck. Yes? Or no? Or I guess not. Wait, do they even have flame strike at this level? I'm not sure. I think it's the caster P evoker guys. Pretty sketchy. Right, you see he's also off healing in the same way that the melee guy was off healing at 50%. He's gonna look for targets to off heal. And call me crazy, but it does make a difference. You can see it making a difference. So it's, yeah, he's doing a lot less damage. But in reality, this guy may have just saved this from a wipe. So I would not disrespect the off healing. I would never disrespect, because you can see it in practice. Yeah, if you have a lot of experience playing with the companions and you're used to maybe a particular group and maybe you're struggling in some dungeon, consider. Yeah, we're also counting for the money, so let's not forget to reset this. I don't even know, reset items. Just in case, right? Yeah, we missed like a little bit of copper, whatever, man. I don't need it to be that precise. I just need it to be ballpark correct. Cool. So that is that. Lightning bolts, flame shocks. He's spreading flame shocks. That is correct. Flame shock deals the most damage out of all of his shocks if the thingy gets to run its course. So yeah, he should be doing that. Again, I don't expect the shaman to deal as much as the mage. It would literally not make sense. Don't play a shaman and be like, well, I should do as much as the mage. No, because obviously you can heal and obviously it makes a difference. So of course there's some, you know, downside for not playing a mage. If you just want damage and spell casting, go mage, go warlock. There's no need to have yet another mage and warlock, but version shaman, I guess, version lightning. It makes no sense. So I appreciate that it works this way. But it's not like they'll never do well. Like once they get their chain lightning, they actually do a little bit better. So there's that situation as well. Yeah, they're also dropping the totems first thing they do. Like, yeah, they just drop the totems. So one of the reasons I think they're going to do less damage, because at the start of every fight they'll drop the totems, and if he's got 4 totems, then that is like 6 seconds worth of waiting because of the global cooldown. So he's starting 6 seconds late. Well, 3 in this case, because apparently he's only dropping 2. But just imagine that 6 seconds is, I don't know, 2-3 fireballs or something. So obviously, right? But let's be honest here, because he drops, I don't know if they have to totemic recall, but it doesn't matter, they'll just drop them anyway. But first thing he drops is Stone Skin Totem, everybody. That is huge. It's one of the strongest damage reductions when it comes to dealing with packs of enemies. So extremely good, extremely strong. Boom, Stone Skin first thing. And you see, it's not like it only helps the tank, it helps everybody else. Like the shaman is being attacked right now, Stone Skin is helping him. He is taking less damage because of that. So it's very, very good stuff. Again, Paladin doesn't have Consecration at 18, which makes things a little bit more difficult for him. But nonetheless, I didn't write in the function for checking for overthreat yet, and I think I will. Once I do, I will only apply that when fighting against raid bosses and not like bosses as I have on vanilla. Just because I don't think normal dungeon bosses are that big of a deal. You can see, I mean, the shaman was tanking for a good amount of time there, so it's fine. It's not ideal, but he can actually tank and survive these, because they're basically elites, or a little bit better than elites, but ultimately they are not that dangerous as a raid boss would be. So that's what's going to happen there. let's see, if we look at healing done, you can see that he's trying to contribute with heals. Holy light, okay. I guess again the tank paladin will heal himself if he's only tanking one target or something. I forgot how many targets. I think it's one, or at most 3, probably 1. So he's gonna heal himself, or if he's bubbled, he's gonna heal himself. Oh jeez. Wow, this guy, he upgraded whatever weapon he was using, but it's kind of, yeah. Oh, it gave him stamina. Okay, I guess that's better than nothing, right? I hope I gave him stamina calculations just like I did armor calculations, because even though, like, you see, if you're in this situation, you cannot say that, hey, the white axe or whatever he was using there is not better than, or it's just as good as, you know, having 11 stamina. So they should account for stamina and all that jazz, even though it's not a DPS stat, whatever. But in real world applications, having more armor and stamina, you know, it can actually mean dealing more damage because you stay alive longer in the fight, and you can see that straight away in this run. Again, the mage. Actually, I may not have. That's the problem, because it doesn't show in number. That's why I'm concerned about it. I mean, the healer guy went for it, said plus 47%. So I'm kind of concerned that I may not have done that for the casters, which would be a mistake in my opinion. You know what? I'm gonna note it down because I think it's important. So even for casters, give them stamina and health stat weights. I don't know. I think it's important to be well-rounded. I'm not talking about raids where you're like min-maxing and yada 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 and blah blah blah, and you know that you can have a tank and you shouldn't really be tanking anything during a raid. But in normal situations, dungeons and whatnots, being able to take a hit goes a long way. So we're gonna check that out. We're not using bombs like we did in the previous video, even though they would help and will speed things up a little bit here, just so we can see the classes raw. Let's find out where their breaking points are, and you see that when we pay attention a little bit more to them, we do find problems all the time. So it's good. What he is doing, he's flame striking. Look at that. He's absolutely flame striking. So it's hard to beat a mage who's flame striking and arcane explosioning when all you have is single target. So once he gets lightning, chain lightning, we'll reassess how it's going. But yeah, mages are very strong. Like, this is also a feature of the class, right? And you have to consider this. Let's do a pullback here. You have to consider this when you hire your oh, scheisse. That is not cool, bro. Let's start this. You have to consider this. If you are familiar with the classes and you know kind of what their breaking points are, in the sense that at some point they become stronger, like they get spikes in power and they become stronger relative to the other classes. So if you know this and you're experienced, then you can absolutely take advantage of that, right? But then again, it's not like having an off heal is a terrible thing to have. It's not. I don't believe so. So, kind of know your chickens, so to speak. But otherwise, he's doing what you'd expect him to do. So he drops the totems first, as you can see. He's doing flame shocks, fine. Lightning bolts, fine. And yeah, not much else to say beyond that one. It's correct. Yeah. But also the paladin, like, check out how much damage the paladin is doing. It's kind of crazy. The problem is the boss will be roaming this way, so let's, yeah, just use the commands to fight in a place that's appropriate and that advantages you more. Don't fight in the middle of the room and be like, yeah, the boss is gonna roam there, it's totally fine, right? And we've discussed about this. Yeah, maybe you're missing a couple of attacks, but imagine having the power to just move your entire group so easily. If you play with other people and they are not experienced with the game or whatever, and it's like, oh, let's move everybody because the boss is coming. Maybe they'll listen, maybe they will not listen. You're flipping a coin there, who knows? Right, so we can do the exact same thing here. You can come toggle them, they'll follow you into this next room. Come toggle off, they're gonna go do their job, and you have no chance of having a bad pull here and potentially wiping because you pulled the boss and these 3 goblins, and the boss is pretty tanky himself. The problem is they may be able to survive because it's not like that much burst damage, but you'd absolutely wear down the healer's mana by the time the boss comes off of his shredder there. I've seen it many times. The healer could potentially run out of mana, and he still might because the guy is very tanky. Let's just do a normal pull here to send the tank in first. Listen, like, even if all you do is this, because I know people are like, oh, I don't want to press extra buttons. This is extremely important. If the tank, or it doesn't even matter who it is, whomever gets aggro first, the next person needs to generate threat either above 110% of what the current tank or the current target is, or 130% if he's at a distance or something like that. If in the case of the tank, it would be like 110%. So if your mage or whomever took aggro, then the tank needs to generate 130%, and he will eventually, but not before your priest or your healer or your whatever squishy target takes quite a beating. And you can see it's the same thing that happens here. Just because this guy is doing a lot of damage, just because the paladin doesn't have consecration, and just because I didn't write an overthreat for tanks, just because the paladin, what, doesn't he have a taunt though? What happened with the paladin's taunt? Is this guy immune to taunt or what? Oh, he came out. Okay, he does have taunt. I think it's the shredder that was immune to taunt, which is, again, the companions know this, so if they're not using taunts, it may be because of that. So don't think it may be some bother. So they look into this if the creature can have a threat list, if it's tauntable and all that jazz. So internally they know this, and it's kind of difficult to say. I think it's kind of a criticism I have for this game. I don't like when stuff like this happens, where certain creatures are immune to certain things and you don't know ahead of time. It's like there's not a universally applied rule across the board. Some bosses are immune, some bosses are not immune. Sneed here was not immune, his shredder was. I mean, you could say, oh, but it's common sense. Well, it's not immediately obvious. Yes, it's not immediately obvious. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. I think they may be attacking me or something. Let's just do a come stay here, just to pull all of them together. Make it a little bit easier on everybody, even though this is like a terribly bad pull here. So we may have to focus fire a little bit. No, our tank is dead. Great. Yeah. If you had any bombs, like, these guys are not hard to kill, but because there are so many, and because the paladins have any AoE poopy, they add up, bro. Like, all your problems, they add up. Okay, so now they do revive when I go to a new zone. That's cool. I appreciate that. Let's get everybody in here and just pull a little bit safer. You remember the first time we did Deadmines and I pulled like everything, right? Like the whole entire hallway is like a giant pool, and I managed to do it. Why was that? Because first of all, they were level 20, so the paladin could just consecrate and keep threat and aggro much easier. But also because they were using bombs, because I threw a bomb myself and they started using bombs. And you saw how much of a difference those bombs make. We're talking about 20% of their total damage increase. Huge amount, absolutely huge, statistically significant, and just making the difference. And you see now, by not having all of those, we cannot objectively do as big a pulls as we did before. So yeah, if you do this dungeon a couple of times just for leveling and all that jazz, yeah, it should get easier for you. But I highly recommend just farming some stones and some linen and crafting a bomb, even if it's the shitty bomb, like the rough bombs, whatever, dynamites, whatever. Just make one, dude. In this dungeon you'll see, if we look around, you'll see copper veins. We passed by quite a few of them already, so, and there should be some up ahead as well. So if you have mining, these guys drop linen. You see the linen, you see the wool, it's in your bag. The veins, look at it over there, everybody. Copper vein, you just do the damn thing. Go learn engineering. Craft, super easy to craft bombs and dynamites, and you'll have such an easier time doing this. Highly recommend it. And this is part of the, let's say, the experience that I want to create, so it's not immediately obvious. The more time you spend on the server, the more time you try to learn and to understand how everything works, the easier it becomes for you. So it's not just because of the hiring cost and all this, let's say, artificial things, but it's just objectively becoming better at controlling the companions, knowing how they function, knowing even the classes themselves. Like you've seen, oh, mage has flame strike, maybe that's important to you. Oh, you know that the warlock is giving hellstones to everybody and he's also got an imp. Or maybe you just need an off tank and you use the void walker. All of these are not immediately obvious, yes, because you're not being told that those exist, but you can learn them, or you can, from experimenting yourself, from asking other people, from reading the wiki, like you can figure it out. And this may seem like, oh, the player should just be told, like, I'm nudging at Nostradamus, you should be told everything. No, the player should not be told jack shit. Figure it out. Learning all of this is literally the fun part about the game. And in all the games I've played my whole entire life, just learning how to beat the game was the most fun part. Once you know how to beat the game, it's, I don't know, like just a huge part of that enjoyment goes away. So, I don't know. It's hard to say, but to explain. But I just want the people to kind of figure out a lot of this on their own. And once you do, like I watch people play from time to time on my gym account invisibly when they're doing dungeons, and I can tell you with zero hesitation that the people who know how to control the companions as opposed to the people who do not is huge, absolutely huge. And it's not just dungeons, it's also in raids. If you've never raided with other people, the veterans on the server, if you don't regularly raid with others, believe me, someone who just solos all the time, like the way they are playing, as opposed to the people who share knowledge and learn from each other, is huge. Yeah, that's why you see people doing like 45-minute molten core, and you look at someone who's only soloed and it takes him 2 hours, and you look at the way they're positioning the companions and all the jazz, and I don't know, I'm just saying, I like the fact that there's a learning curve. I like it. I don't care if, oh, hey, someone ultra casual and, oh my, I don't care. I just want a game where you have the potential to learn and to grow and to perfect. And even though you see me playing the way I'm playing, doesn't mean it's the best way. I have seen people do like absolutely crazy things with the companions that I have not even thought of or considered until I saw them do it. So I don't know, just people with have creativity and have curiosity and can push the companions to even greater heights, let's say, than even I know how to do. So that's what I want. I want you to have a lot of tools and features and all this shit, and for you to be able to kind of figure it out on your own, a lot of this stuff. And you see, there potential exists. You just gotta apply yourself. And I see people, they don't even know, for example, that's why I did the quests on the vanilla. They don't know that you can share all of these consumables with the companions, because they are not crafters by design, or they don't prefer to craft during leveling process. And oh my god, after I implemented that quest and they learned that this is a thing, that, oh my god, I should have crafted this whole entire time. Oh my god, I can't believe crafting is so good. And yeah, it convinced people that crafting is worth their time, and it is, right? Because you benefit from enchanting, you benefit from alchemy and blacksmithing and all the jazz. You just benefit from them now. So you have, it cannot be more obvious that when you sharpen your weapon, all your companions sharpening it as well. So whatever effect you gain from sharpening your weapon is fivefold as strong, right? And if you're in a raid, in vanilla raid, like 40-fold, like 40 times the effect of you just crafting a bomb and throwing it out there. Like, it's insane. Like, it's just small little things like that. Also, remember that in the previous video we pulled like basically the whole entire thing here. We cannot do that now. We just cannot do it at level 18. It's not a good idea. It's just gonna bite you in the ass for sure. But we did do it at level 20 with the bombs, and it absolutely worked splendidly. It was perfectly splendid. Yeah, so overall I have good thoughts about how things work, and I enjoy them. They're doing the correct things as far as I can see. The shaman damage got a little bit better. It's still below the mage, but again, the guy is flame striking. You can see him flame striking. So the fact that he's keeping up whatsoever is kind of crazy. His flame strike is one of the best AoEs. I mean, he is doing the fire nova whatever thingy majingly, but that's not flame strike worthy, let's be honest. And it's not just flame strike, you can see him arcane explosioning as well, so that absolutely just pushes it over the limit. He's gonna be number one, clearly. I think I may have noticed, I may have explained about the AoEs before. The companions, when he's doing flame strike, he's looking at all the mobs. Let's say all the dead mobs here, all the corpses that you see would be alive, and what he does is he looks at the range of the flame strike and the radius. The range is how far away you can cast it, like into the distance, and the radius is how many creatures you would fit into the radius, into the green circle when you look at it on the ground to cast it. So he's gonna look at all the enemies, and he's going to calculate at their location how many enemies can be fit within the radius, and he's going to pick a location that has the most amount of them. So for example, let's say you had one enemy here and 4 here, and he needs at least 3 enemies to cast to be validated for casting it, and he's gonna look at how many do I have in radius at this dead goblin whatever, 1. Because 8 radius would kind of be around, so not too far away. And then he's gonna look around here. It's gonna be how many do I have if I throw it on this guy? 4. Oh, or 5, because there's like a couple of them. So he's just gonna stop here and be like, yep, I'm just gonna throw it on this guy. This guy is being surrounded. So I can get the maximum benefit by throwing it on this guy, right? He has to spend quite a lot of CPU to figure this out, because he needs to check for each and every one of these guys to figure that out. But the result is, and it works the same for bombs, for example, right? Well, for the bombs it doesn't even matter because for the, well, it does matter, because for the bombs what he's trying to figure out on top of, he's not going to throw it at 3 enemies. The bombs he's going to throw them if all the enemies are grouped up together, for the simple reason that the bombs have like a long cooldown, right? So he's gonna wait for all the enemies. If you're ever wondering if there's 1 enemy here and 5 here, why aren't they using bombs? Because he's waiting for all of them to be together within the radius of the bomb, and then he's gonna throw the bomb when they're all grouped up together, and he knows he's gonna hit them all. Of course, the bomb has a cast time and also has a travel time, which means you've seen it if you watch the previous videos, that it's possible for him to throw the bomb and the mob is like moving and whoop-de-doo, he missed. I don't care. If you don't like that, it's normal. It should happen like that. They should have the possibility to fail, and it's within like normal fail conditions, let's say. It's nothing, I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I don't think they should calculate, let's figure out the trajectory. Could they do this? Yeah, but fuck no. Like, no, let them fail. Let them, as long as their decision making to begin with was correct, like, yeah, it's correct, throw the bomb. It's also possible, like, keep in mind, I think I tell them not to throw it on someone who's already moving, but the target can decide to move after he has started casting and after he's thrown the bomb. So the bomb itself has a travel time, quite a substantial one, I would say. So in that case, I don't care, right? I just don't care. They should play correctly. They shouldn't just play like absolute Matrix brainiacs or whatever. Some Rain Man shit. So just make the correct decisions, and if shit happens, that is fine. That's part of the game, so I accept that. I don't consider that to be a problem. By the contrary, it's very good that it works this way. I'll be concerned if they were too mechanical, and they're already very mechanical, right? It's not like they're not bot-like. They are very much bot-like, but maybe not in too obvious ways, let's say. Because I think one of the reasons would be, yeah, just you're giving the player a very hard time to catch up. If you just play completely bot-like, then how is the player ever gonna catch up with you? And you might think that's not the problem. I don't care if you think that way. It is a problem. It's a problem for most people, because ultimately you want to feel like you're part of the group. You want to feel like you're contributing. You want to feel like you being there makes a difference and it's important and you're doing things. And I've shown you in almost every video when we wiped, like we wiped earlier, if you had been there and you maybe were another mage who could throw flame strikes or an arcane explosion, you could have killed the cheaty weak minor poopies, and maybe you should have done like a pullback there also, to be honest, because I was tanking myself. Obviously when you're playing yourself, don't just body tank like I do. I don't care, just to save time and whatever, but of course you should do pullbacks all the time, or other pullback. Like this would be a good example for a pullback. You just stay around the corner, you're corner pulling, you send the guy in, he's coming back, he brought all the guys with him, all the enemies are grouped up, and whoop-de-doo, and we all even skipped one of those guys, right? So now it's gonna be even a little bit easier. So that's how you should be playing. But because I'm talking and I'm not paying attention all the time, and I'm particularly thinking too hard either, because I have to explain all this jazz, but you yourself should be using commands and all the jazz. And we can see the paladin is struggling to keep aggro on the boss again. He taunted, but wow, this guy just won't have it, dude. He's like, I don't care. As soon as the taunt expired, yeah, he went back on the mage. Yeah, well, the mage is doing some pretty badass damage. So. And what is the mage doing actually? Hold on, let's look at it. If you remember the previous video, hold on. If you remember from the previous video, I talked about the fact that he's dynamically picking whichever spell to use, so he could be using a fireball, frostbolt, or arcane missiles, And the way he decides is that wow, check out those giant ring upgrades. He decides whichever one to use based on how much damage they deal, calculating the cast time as well. So they math all of that in, and it's actually pretty close in damage. However, it stops being so close because he invests into the fire tree, and reducing the cast time of the spell is a damage multiplier, straight up multiplier. So it's kind of hard to beat it at that point. And if you want him, let's say I don't know what you're doing, because you can use a legacy companion and whatever, you can just deny the fireball, and then he'll use the second one that he thinks is strongest between arcane explosions, arcane missiles, and frostbolt. And if you disagree with that, then you can just let's say you wanted arcane missile and you're casting frostbolt, then just deny frostbolt, and then you'll be casting arcane missiles. I know it's like a little bit of work to do on your part, but it works. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is, right? Yeah, at least you have the option to do it, as opposed to not having the option, right? So let's pick up a bunch of the weak guys. They should be able to handle this. By the way, the mage and casters in general, they're not going to AoE when they have attackers. So if someone is attacking them, they're not going to just suicide arcane explosion or something, right? You see he's being attacked because he's there. Exactly. Like nothing. Okay. I have to explain more. He can use arcane explosion to... Oh, shit. Oh. Okay. Well, that happened. Well, now we're fucked. Perfect example. If you had been here and killed these guys a little bit quicker, you wouldn't be in this situation. I was also talking, so... I guess what we can do is we can maybe try to CC these guys. Are we using star? We're not using star. Let's add star to everybody. But yeah, they're not gonna pull through. Again, if you had contributed here, I'm sure you could have solved this one. Like, the timing matters. But I'm glad for these wipes. I have no problem. I'm glad I got to see a sheep being used defensively. I was going to say that they use arcane explosion to also finish off enemies. So they look at the damage of the arcane explosion. If they can kill someone in the radius, then they use that to do it. Why are they doing this? Because obviously, if you have a whole bunch of enemies around you, and first of all, you're going to generate more damage, but second of all, you don't have to cast like 3 seconds or whatever long it's going to take. You just instantly cast it and whoop-de-doo is done. So it's a good thing that they do it. It's obviously in this case wasn't nearly enough to save us, but nonetheless, the thing happens. If you're asking why, normally they're not supposed to use arcane explosions and AoEs when they're being attacked, which in this case they were being attacked, like the mage was being attacked. However, just because he had an opportunity to execute one of them, he used it. So you could argue about that, like maybe he shouldn't, maybe he should respect the aggro, maybe he should make it even harder for the tank, maybe he shouldn't, blah blah blah. You could argue, I suppose you can. But the mage actually in this situation, he didn't even die very quickly. He kind of stayed alive for a long time. So I think overall it was correct. The reason they wiped is just because they got ambushed by this roaming group from behind. This was out of their control, so what can we do? We can't, and you can't predict everything. But if you had more damage by contributing here, either by using some bomb or just doing damage yourself, you would have killed faster and you would have probably observed these guys way sooner. So I'm just so happy that these situations exist, because you'll be dealing with this. And I'm not trying to play particularly careful, because I know the average person will not be like extra careful either. They'll mostly be right clicking, right? So I'm trying to be, let's say, less careful, also to push them to see where they break and if we need to fix their logic or stuff like that. But also not to be extra careful, because if I'm playing extra careful all the time, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's gonna be hard to understand what players are going through in particular. So the mage is doing what you'd expect him to do. He's just single targeting now because he's got attackers on him. Once he stops having attackers, which I'm not sure if will happen anytime soon, he's still being attacked by someone. Yeah. So he can use Arcane Explosion for finishing off enemies, or he's gonna use Fire Blast, and they calculate the damage and they know when they have enough damage to kill the target, as you've just seen. And yeah, that works. It's just better than him trying to cast Fireball or something for 3 seconds and obviously the target is about to die. You, like, okay, in this exact situation it wouldn't have mattered because all the enemies are already dead. But if you are fighting multiple enemies, then small, again, it's all about the small things, everybody. They just add up, right? So small optimizations like that can make the difference. If it really comes down to minute details, you see he executed again with Fire Blast, then stuff like that can make a difference, and we have seen situations like that so far. And I do point them out quite often where it's like, yeah, good thing you did that at the exact right time, or else. There you go, another Fire Blast execute. Cool. It's not just the mages who do this, warlocks do it as well. I think they have Shadow Burn or something, and they have Death Coil, and I think that's it. And maybe Conflagrate, they do that with Conflagrate as well. Warriors, they don't have anything in particular, but they do cast Execute on targets below 20% anyway, so that's their Execute, literally called Execute. Rogues use either Eviscerate or, what is it called, Envenom, or just that. They calculate to see which one deals more damage. They account for all the jazzy poops. I tested all of this. I know it's exactly what they calculate was exactly the damage going out. Well, I tested kind of synthetically because I made them deal maximum damage, so there's no variance. But they do calculate and it's correct, right? So rogues do it with Eviscerate and Venom. Whom else? I don't think hunters do it at all. I don't think they have any execute. I think on vanilla I tried a little bit with Arcane Explosion, but what happened is that the Arcane Shot. I tried with Arcane Shot, but it didn't work so well because the damage of the Arcane Shot was so little, and because the hunter usually stays at 30 yards or something, so pretty far away, and there's a travel time for the projectile. By the time the Arcane Shot reached the target was usually dead, so it was a waste of cooldown and mana to do it. So it's much easier with, you see it, Fire Blast, boom, instant shot, boom, it hits the target as soon as you cast it, and there's no room for doubt in that. It just works. So there's the hunter, the rogue we talked about, the priest has Shadow Word Death, and even I think even the caster is using, even the healer is using that, so not just the ranged DPS. So they're both using that just to help out. Very important, yeah, just to make sure it actually executes something. So if it doesn't actually kill the target, you take the damage instead. But it should be, yeah, they calculate it just like everything else, so they use that, and that's fine. Shamans, I don't know if I gave the shaman casters this execute. I should look into it, but they should be doing it with Earthshock, so I have to look into it. I don't remember off the top of my head. While these guys are fighting on this, I'm just going to check that out, but they should be using Earthshock. Earthshock has the highest alpha damage, let's say, like flat out damage out of all these shocks and all the other things, on top of it being an instant cast, so makes it an obvious thing to use. Who is using this? I see that the tank, oh, the melee DPS seems to be using it. Earthshock as finisher. The range DPS is using it. So apparently the melee and the range DPS are using it, and maybe the caster should be using it as well. Why not? Why not? Let me go and just give it to the caster. You might be, oh, he's wasting mana. I don't care. Mana is there to be used. Okay, so we're gonna put it somewhere, interrupt targets. We're gonna put it as a finisher. He calculates the damage. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Yes, that should be fine, I think. Alright, so the casters will do it as well. The tanks should not be doing this because they need Earthshock to act as a taunt or high aggro generation. So for them it would be a bad idea. But for everybody else, they should be doing it, of course. I don't care about his waste. I don't care about his mana. Just contribute to the fight, yes? If you're finishing a fight with mana left, you have not tried enough. You should pull more mobs or try hard. Your guy should not have any mana at the end. Yeah, it's like, oh, let's preserve mana. Who cares about mana? It's kind of when you're playing games and it's like, I'm never gonna use the healing potions. I keep holding on to them for that unicorn situation where I might need them. It turns out you never actually need them because you don't use them, and you just end up vendoring them or something like that. So no, just use everything in your power and win. That's important. Yeah, because if you do this, then you might save some poor caster like 3 seconds of wasting his time casting fireball or whatever. You might be asking, but do they coordinate these finisher moves? They do not. In my experience, it's not really an issue, except for the Hunter Arcane Shot thingy that, yeah, because, well, it's just that it's kind of difficult to have that happen. And if it does happen, it's not the end of the world. It can happen, theoretically it can happen. It's just that, well, I think what actually happens, right? What actually happens is that maybe the target dies, and the second guy who tries to kill the guy is like, the target is already dead. So I haven't tested this in like years, but I think it shouldn't be a problem for finisher moves, unlike say interrupts or stuff like that. And it's hard to explain to you why that is the case. It's actually pretty difficult. It's very technical. It's some technical particularity, and yeah, it'd be pointless to explain, because you have to go pretty deep into how the spells work and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's not an issue, but if I observe it being an issue at some point, I may or may not consider doing something about it, because I don't think it's that big of a deal. At least I've not observed that to be a deal, but if it turns out to be a deal, then I'm willing to fix it. I mean, in the code I have marked all when they do the finisher, so it's very easy to just go over all the classes, and very easy. It would be 20 minutes of work maximum, maybe 10. So it wouldn't be difficult. I just don't want to do it for no reason. That's the problem. If it's not an actual problem, then I don't want to fix something that's not an actual problem. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's not that I'm just writing more code that's not useful. I may, if somebody else looks over the code, I may confuse them into believing that it's an issue when it's not. And it just makes the code more difficult to maintain, not just for myself, but for anybody else. Like Emil, he may be looking over this and may think like, oh, this is necessary. And it may be like, no, it's not actually necessary. So then he may try to use that code somewhere else, like for dueling, whatever. Well, obviously it doesn't apply, but maybe for, I don't know, PvP bots or battleground bots, I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, but obviously don't put shit in there that's not actually doing anything. So that's why I don't want to do it. But if I observe it being a problem, easy to fix, 20 minutes maximum work. Cool. When I did my leaderboard on the website, someone said that if you try Deadmines at level 18, you'll just pull like the whole entire ship. And that's correct, but only if you allow that to happen. And we're gonna see what happens. Are we gonna pull the whole entire ship? Or are we not gonna pull the whole entire ship? Now, we didn't pull those guys, but if you just do pullbacks, you should not be pulling any entire anything. You should just be pulling what you're supposed to be pulling. And, yeah, controlling your environment. Are we good? We are good. Jesus Christ, dude. It's like 35 degrees inside the room. I have a thermometer, I think it's called. Yeah, it's ridiculante. Ridiculante. Winter, please. And the stupid computer is generating a lot of heat also. Like, it would not be as hot, it would be actually manageable. Well, it is manageable anyway. I'm complaining for no reason. It's just annoying. But yeah, the computer is emanating even more heat because of the cooling and whatnot. So, evil computer. The good part is that during the winter you don't have to turn on the heater. The computer is just taking care of it. So that's a nice bonus, I suppose. It's good during winter, it's just shit in the summer. We made quite a bit of gold. I think the gold may end up being similar to what we made from Whaling Caverns, from what I see so far. Let's see, from Whaling Caverns we did like 61 silver flat, like dropped gold, picked up gold, whatever, and 3 gold and almost 4 gold from items. And I don't know about the items. I think we got a lot more items in Whaling Caverns. There was a lot of those gray poopy sands, you know what I mean? The chicky gray trashy item, vendor trash, whatever. One thing you can do if you happen to pull more than you should here is very easy. You just come toggle everybody and you jump on top of that thing and they will lose aggro. They'll just reset because they can't hit with that. So this is like infamous situation here because you could pull all those guys, especially if you're low level, but if you know what you're doing, is not a problem. And doing Deadmines at level 18, it's not, for veterans, is not a problem. We wiped, I guess, twice because I pulled more than I should have, and I'm not using any bombs, but like those are not unfixable situations. Those are 100% preventable if you just pay attention. So we're gonna let this guy go and we're gonna just pull back here, and you see the tank. Okay, and you see the tank. Hello. Okay. I've never seen that one before. I don't know. Maybe he couldn't pathfind there. It's kind of strange. I have no idea. If you remember our run with the priest, maybe we'll just do another. When we do Nomrigan, and I don't remember if it's no, we still need to stockades maybe. And when we do Nomrigan, maybe we'll just pick up the priest range DPS again, just so we can see. Because I did Nomrigan at level 34. I should have done it at 30. That's a huge difference. Like 4 levels, absolutely monumental difference. And we're gonna do it at 30, and we're gonna see if the priest makes more of a difference. Like his damage was not great, but he was off healing quite. Like I think the ranged DPS priest is the only class that is truly off healing. Like he has a substantial amount of healing logic, like more healing logic in his ranged DPS rotation than anybody else. So that guy is truly prepared to off heal and that sort of jazz. Let's come toggle and move this guy off in the distance, so we don't pull Captain Greeny Pants. Oh, scheiße. Cool. What you can do? Oh, no way. Wow, that is giant sabotage, everybody. No problem. I guess I'm not sure. Maybe we can still do it. I guess we'll figure. I see, if you put yourself in some position where you cannot be attacked. If I had jumped like on top of the poops over there, it's all good, everybody. Perfect example. And when you have a druid healer, make sure you also bring somebody else who can actually revive, whether it's yourself or your companion, whatever. Right, for this exact very reason, because now he's just gonna be able to revive everybody and you'll be fine. Yeah, I guess I risked a little bit too much because I'm low level, so I guess his radius of aggro is higher. But yeah, I should have just pulled off the platform, but it's not a problem. You just reset here and it's all good. Soon, I hope. Like, this is taking way longer than on vanilla, at least. I don't know if we can just... Wow, these guys are actually attacking us. Look at this, dude. Can we just...
Attack my foe.
Can we just attack them somehow? I mean, this guy be like, no. He's like, no. But they're attacking us. What the fuck? It's kind of strange. If you do this on the vanilla server, it would 100% work. Within 10 seconds, they'll just lose interest. So I'm not sure what the fuck. Maybe something I should look into. I don't know. Okay. They're really not giving up, are they? They're really not gonna give up. What if I jump down here? What happens then? Oh, come on, that was fake? Damn. That was sabotage right there. Are they gonna come for us? I guess they are. Well, then we truly are screwed. Don't know. On the vanilla server, this wouldn't have been a thing. I don't know what to say. Pull careful. Carefully. More careful than careful. I was being cheeky, but yeah, you should definitely pull carefully. Shouldn't have been a problem. Like you saw the idea. Just let them go past you. Just let them go past you, and it's not a problem. I was being too careless there. But not a problem. And I also don't understand why the companions weren't shooting back. At least the ranged DPS, he should have just shot him in the face then. very strange. Since I'm not a range caster myself, I can't test that. Yeah. But no problem. No problem, sir. Next time we just wait here. We wait for the boss to move away because he's a boss, and we shall show respect for him and his cronies and his family, and we shall pay tribute to make sure we get safe passage. And we shall always pray to God that it may never happen again. But hin problem, we just get all these guys, and since I know now they're not gonna reset, we can just go down and let them come to us, and very easily we shall solve problem. And look, all the mobs come and no problem whatsoever. You just learn that it works differently on vanilla server than it works on the TBC one. No problem, we adapt to the circumstance, and you only need to learn the lesson one time, and once you do, you can easily find fixable workaround. It is proof. You see with the own eyes is exactly how it works. Cool. And now we don't have the problem anymore. Now we can go and do cheeky cheeky bang bang. No problem. And if we want to be extra revengeful and vengeful, then what we can do is we can mark with the CC mark, and that will prove even more the efficient. The efficiency will increase. We see the ship going on there, and I guess we don't have any other CC like long term. We only have the ship, and the ship will be continuously the shipped back. You can see that he recasted polymorph before the duration ran out, and now the ship is just roaming around looking for grass, and poor Betsy no find no grass. I hope she's also making specific ship sound. Yes. I hope it is immersive polymorph and not fake polymorph. We want the immersiveness when we play with the companions, but yes. Cool. And they got a weapon they cannot equip because you came here unprepared. And they recasted the polymorph, the ship kept being the ship, and all is good. Yeah. We're gonna see how they're gonna handle the boss at level 18. Maybe we should CC the guys, I don't know. Or maybe we shouldn't CC them. It's kind of hard to say. He keeps respawning. We don't actually have a lot of CC, so maybe we should try not CCing. But you know what else we should do? We should allow the tank to just hold aggro, because for all the other bosses so far, it's kind of strange. It also may be again the same problem. I don't understand. It also may be, yeah, he's just doing a lot of damage. Look at those arcane explosions, man. Like, holy crap. That's a lot of AoE. Okay, I see the fairy fire coming out from the druid. Arcane explosioning may be in some way better, just so we will wilt down these guys, but they may not even go dead before the next ones appear. So maybe let's focus on this guy instead. How about that? And also the mage is taking damage now, so I'm not happy about that one. Taunt soon. The problem with the paladin taunt is that it comes, but it has like 15-second cooldown or something, so it's a little bit. Why does the paladin have full mana? Hold on, I am ill confused about what's happening here. Okay, we've seen the mage. Set the fog off. Why is this guy like not using things. Like, he should not have full mana at this point. Judgment. Oh, he may not be using it if he doesn't need to taunt somebody, but what? Like, really? I mean, okay, I don't disapprove. Oh, now he's healing himself. Okay, fine. See, now he's doing it, the things. I'm not... We should look more at the paladin. I'm not sure what happened there. That was very strange. You know what? Let's loot these guys and let's just respawn this boss. I don't know. We're just gonna do this live. Hold on. Let me note down the goal that we have so far. So we're in Deadmines, and we made 129 flat. Let's go quickly to Stormwind just so I can sell my loot, and then we go back and we try to find out what is the paladin doing. Why not use special ability to protect allies from the danger? That is not okay. I do not approve. Very strange. Okay, so total tally 4 gold, 48 silver. Wow. So in Wailing Caverns they made 61 flat, and here they made 129 flat. But overall in Wailing Caverns they made like 4 silver more, which is very interesting, I would say. Yes. Cool. Let's go back and look at the paladin. What is the paladin doing? Why are you not attacking? You're not reacting. What is going on? Let's pull back and... Is that... okay. The healer... Was it the healer? It was not a healer. What the fuck? Why is Shaman casting when on pullback? I don't understand that one. I note it down. I need to check. We need to check the problem. Yes. When you do focus mark, he's not going to AoE easy. No. Oh, he is. Maybe when the focus mark don't AoE. I don't know. Maybe you should. It's hard to say. It depends. Deny, add flame strike, and arcane explosion. So you can do this, and this will cause him to just use single target, like no problemo. And boom boom. He is using righteous defense. I think what is happening is that he's not judging the thing when there are multiple enemies, in the same way the Shaman is not using Earthshock when there are multiple enemies unless he needs to taunt somebody off. You can argue if that's a good thing or not a good thing. I don't know. Yeah, I have quite a few things to look into for the next video. We could kill Cookie, but it's a foregone conclusion. So instead, we shall end it here. I find it very interesting that going on the wheel did not reset this, because not just on the vanilla server, but on all the other servers that I've played on, that was a thing. That's always been a thing. So I'm confused as to why it didn't work here. I mean, yeah, strange. But ultimately not hard, except for avoidable issues. All of this could have been avoided. All the wipes, baby wipes, they were baby wipes. Yeah, they could have been avoided. So it's nothing you cannot handle at level 18. But again, like I said in the beginning when we started doing the videos, my purpose is to try to push them to see situations like these where maybe they're... this is when you observe it the best. When they have to be very precise, because it's like a difficult pull. This is when you start to notice that they're doing weird shit. Like, why was the this guy casting, I don't know, lightning ball when I did a pullback. Like they should have been paused for 10 seconds. So I don't know what that's about. I need to look into that. But nonetheless, pretty chill run. Thanks for watching. See you in next video. I shall do prayer for you so we see each other healthy in the next video. Goodbye.